From the All Indiana Podcast Network.
The All Indiana Podcast Network.
This is the News 8 Daily 8.
Now the latest news.
Kylie Conway has all the news you need to know.
And more.
Please stand by.
This episode of News 8 Daily 8 is presented by Downtown Indy.
Now, here's Wish TV's Kylie Conway.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is the News 8 Daily 8 for Wednesday, October 7th. Things are really warming up today. Another dry day, and temps will climb close to 80 degrees. And Hurricane Delta is pounding Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. Official landfall happened about 7 o'clock this morning. It is soaking an area that is already flooded from Tropical Storm Gamma. Delta has weakened slightly this morning and is now a Category 2 storm, but still brings the threat of severe storm surge and more flooding. Evacuations have expanded. In Cancun alone, the government opened 160 shelters for guests that had been staying in hotels. Mail-in ballots will not be expanded to everyone in the state after a federal appeals court rejected a request. Right now, people living in Indiana have to list one of 13 reasons why you're requesting an absentee ballot. A federal appeals court sided with a ruling from a federal judge in Indianapolis. The appeals court said Indiana's current absentee voting system does not violate the Constitution. 3 counties are reporting a record number of people cast their ballots for the first day of early voting yesterday. The Hamilton County Clerk says 2,106 people voted at its 2 locations yesterday. That's more than double compared to 2016, where there were 898 people. The Johnson County Clerk says it's 834 people who voted as a record. In Marion County, the clerk says 1,240 people voted, which is about 300 more than in October of 2016. Today is the second day for early voting. Polls at the City County building in Indianapolis open at 8 o'clock. And the stage is set tonight. The candidates for vice president will face off for the first time. The 90-minute debate will take place at the University of Utah in Salt Lake City. The moderator will be Susan Page of USA Today. She told the news organization the debate will cover 9 topics, but did not elaborate on what those topics would be. Democratic candidate Senator Kamala Harris will make history as the first Black and South Asian woman to participate in a general election debate. She's been prepping in Salt Lake City since Saturday. An anonymous campaign aide says Harris plans to focus on what the campaign considers the failures of leadership by the Trump-Pence administration and what she calls the administration's mishandling of the coronavirus. Vice President Mike Pence's team has not discussed his strategy as openly, but noted that he is thorough in everything he does. A former aide said Pence is meticulously on message and he'll give a measured approach to answering questions. Pandemic precautions will be in place. Both candidates will be tested before the debate. There will be no handshake between the two. Everyone in the debate hall will wear a mask, including the moderator. Pence and Harris will not wear a mask, but will have plexiglass separating them. And we're getting expert insight into why tonight's debate could be crucial. With the pandemic, the age of both candidates, and the president recently being in the hospital with coronavirus, political experts say more people will be closely watching this debate for vice president. Okay, first you're going to hear from Butler University political science professor Dr. Greg Schoffelt, then Laura Wilson, associate professor of political science at the University of Indianapolis. Here you go.
Not to be glib, but in many ways, the vice president's sole responsibility is to have a pulse and to be ready to assume the office of the presidency if necessary. And given the age and the pandemic, and specifically the president's current diagnosis, this really raised the stakes of what we're looking for in a vice president.
Both the candidates for president, they are certainly older men. And so the question of whether or not the vice president would ever have to step in, the role that they would play in that, I think is certainly of interest to the American public.
Political science.
Wilson and Schoffelt say that right now, the job of the vice president is amplified. Now, both President Donald Trump and Democratic nominee Joe Biden are in their 70s. With the COVID-19 pandemic, there is a real risk to their health. And while typically voters don't put as much weight into the vice presidential debate, the role could mean more this year. While Hoosiers will want to hear from Vice President Mike Pence, he's better known here in Indiana, and voters will likely get to know Senator Kamala Harris. For both parties, the candidates are a glimpse at the future and possible presidential nominees in 2024. Plus, political experts say they think more people will pay attention to this VP debate because it will be focused on policy. And according to the latest Yahoo News poll, Senator Harris is 3 percentage points ahead of Vice President Pence going into the debate. The debate is at 9 o'clock tonight. You can watch it live on Wish TV and then stay with us immediately after that debate, and we'll hear from local analysts as well.
Searching for a romantic summer getaway? Escape with Rich Girl Summer, the new Audible original from Lily Chu. The exquisitely talented Philippa Sue, returning to narrate her 5th Lily Chu title. This time, Philippa is joined by her real-life husband, Stephen Pasquale. Set in Toronto's wealthy cottage country, aka the Hamptons of Canada, Rich Girl Summer follows the story of Valerie, a down-on-her-luck event planner posing as a socialite's long-lost daughter, while piecing together the secrets surrounding a mysterious family and falling deeper and deeper in love with the impossibly hard-to-read and infuriatingly handsome family assistant, Nico. Caught between pretending to belong and unexpectedly finding where she truly fits in, Valerie learns her summer is about to get far more complicated than she ever planned. She's in over her head and head over heels. Listen to Rich Girl Summer now on Audible. Go to audible.com/richgirlsummer.
There is a funding fight in Washington going on right now that could have a big effect on people here in Indiana. President Trump has stopped negotiations with Democrats over an additional COVID-19 relief bill. You may have noticed some signs around Indy that say "Back Downtown." It's a campaign organized to help revitalize the downtown area, try to get people out, try to help out those businesses in need. And Trump's decision on halting funding could hurt the businesses that are already struggling. The Paycheck Protection Program gave out more than 5 million emergency loans to small businesses to help them cover payroll, rent, and utilities. But the deadline to apply was in August. So for many businesses, the loan money had been used up even before then. The president tweeted late last night saying, "If I send a standalone bill for stimulus checks, they will go out to our great people immediately. I am ready to sign now." He then asks Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi if she's listening. Trump says he has asked Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell to direct all of his focus before the election into confirming his U.S. Supreme Court nominee, Amy Coney Barrett. To give you an idea, this is what was under consideration for additional relief funding. A second round of stimulus checks, $1,200 for individuals and up to $2,400 per family. Also, a boost to unemployment benefits and relief for state and local governments. Plus, support for COVID-19 testing, contact tracing, and vaccine development. Both Republicans and Democrats would have provided additional money. Both did not agree on the amount. Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi quickly released a statement on the president walking away from coronavirus relief. She said, "Walking away from the coronavirus talks demonstrates that President Trump is unwilling to crush the virus as is required by the HEROES Act. Instead, Trump is wedded to his $150 billion tax cut for the wealthiest people in America, while he refuses to give real help to poor children, the unemployed, and America's hardworking families." Vice President Mike Pence and Second Lady Karen Pence plan to be back in Indianapolis Friday. Pence's office says the pair will return to Indiana to cast their ballots during early voting, then will return to Washington. And the COVID-19 outbreak in the president's inner circle is growing. Stephen Miller tested positive for coronavirus. He is a senior advisor and speechwriter for the president. Miller says he worked remotely for the last 5 days and did have a negative test. He then returned to the White House yesterday, tested positive, and is now isolating. At least a dozen White House officials have now contracted the virus. Several of the country's top military leaders are in quarantine this morning. The Pentagon says they were exposed to the virus during a meeting of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. A senior Coast Guard leader tested positive for COVID-19 after that meeting, forcing quarantine for people who were there, including General Mark Milley, the chair of the Joint Chiefs, and General John Hyten, the vice chair. IMPD's North District is trying out a new app to help connect officers with the community. It's called Relay. It's a free app that lets people send pictures, videos, and messages directly to police in their district. The department hopes the app will improve response times. If it works in North District, Indianapolis Police hopes to use it in other areas too. Police say that you still should call 911 for serious emergencies, but the app can let officers be more informed when they get there. Developers say at least 17 police departments use the app, including Fisher's, and a company in Indianapolis created it. Now to some business headlines here. The United States Department of Agriculture is investing nearly $4 million to provide broadband service in unserved and underserved rural areas in Indiana. The department says innovation in agriculture depends on access to reliable, high-speed internet. These investments can help farmers operate more effectively and efficiently. And big tech may be broken up. The clearest signal of that yet came from a House subcommittee that says Amazon, Facebook, Google, and Apple are powerful monopolies like oil and railroad tycoons of years past. More hearings are to come. And the coronavirus is unlikely to shut down meat packing plants again now that producers have taken steps to stop the deadly bug from spreading. This is according to a top industry executive. Those protective measures like temperature checks and surveillance tests have helped beef and pork producer JBS USA prevent major COVID-19 outbreaks among its workers. And Petco says it will no longer sell electronic collars, the first major pet products chain to pull the items from its stores and online. Animal rights groups have long opposed the use of the collars, arguing that they cause animals distress. The move comes as part of a broader corporate transformation of Petco, which is seeking to establish itself as a health and wellness brand. Chick-fil-A is once again teens' favorite fast food restaurant. The chicken chain has topped rankings of Gen Z's favorite restaurants for years on the Piper Sandler biannual survey. Chick-fil-A's sales are exploding, with revenue growing more than 20% in 2019. Zubu opens at the Indianapolis Zoo today. Wish TV is this year's media partner, and it looks great out there. Beginning today, you can take the family trick-or-treating or enjoy some activities, especially for some grown-ups. Zubu is open every Wednesday through Sunday until November 1st. You can find details, ticket information, all of that good stuff on wishtv.com. You do have to have a reservation, even if you are a member of the zoo. Got to sign up and get a specific admission time for you and your family. And the Indianapolis Colts are helping families celebrate Halloween this year as well. The team tweeted yesterday that it's hosting a drive-through Halloween celebration outside of Lucas Oil Stadium October 28th. Children and their families will get a trick-or-treat bucket, prepackaged candy, the chance to meet a Colts player virtually, and a photo opportunity with mascot Blue. Families are encouraged to pre-register for this event as well at colts.com/Halloween. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This episode of News 8 Daily 8 is presented by Downtown Indy.
Check out more podcasts from the All Indiana Podcast Network now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.
allindianapodcastnetwork.com.